Maybe the Miami Heat's most notable offseason addition to this point has been guard Norman Powell, an uber-talented offensive player who enjoyed a breakout season with the Los Angeles Clippers in the 2024-25 campaign. One can make a real argument that the Heat were able to acquire him via trade for pennies on the dollar, too. After all, Miami had to give up just forwards Kyle Anderson and Kevin Love in the three-team deal, and neither of those players had large roles for the Heat a season ago. In light of the Heat making a shrewd deal to land Powell, Heat legend Dwayne Wade explained why he thinks Miami is a hand-in-glove fit for the 32-year-old. At this point in his career, this is the perfect place for him to get to that level that he was just on the cusp of, Wade said according to a post on X. That all-star level, you know what I'm saying? Being one of the best players. Like he said, once PG, Paul George, left, it opened up the opportunities more for him, and he shined. The fact that the Heat were able to acquire a player of Powell's caliber without having to give up any members of their young core or future draft picks is a major win for them. He was one of the premier scorers in all of the NBA in the 2024-25 campaign, as he averaged 21.8 points per game with the Clippers, the 24th best scoring average of any qualified player in the league. Powell served as a leading scoring option for a Clippers team that held its own in a highly competitive Western Conference, as Los Angeles won 50 games in the regular season and qualified for the 2025 NBA playoffs. The NBA veteran showed off a wide-ranging scoring skill set with the Clippers a season ago, as he shot 41.8% from three-point range and 53.8% on shots from inside the three-point line. Along with a versatile scoring toolbox, Powell brings two-way potential to the table, at least in the eyes of one anonymous NBA scout. Powell hung his hat on the defensive side of the ball more earlier on in his pro career. He adds championship pedigree to the fold in Miami as well. Powell was a vital complementary piece next to the likes of stars Kawhi Leonard and Kyle Lowry when the Toronto Raptors captured their first championship in franchise history back in 2019. Hopefully, Wade will prove to be right in his belief that Miami is the perfect place for Powell. It's been a while since Victor Oladipo last played on an NBA court. He last played early on in the Miami Heat's historic run in the 2023 NBA playoffs, which saw them reach the NBA Finals as the number 8 seed in the Eastern Conference. He suffered a knee injury in those playoffs, though, and has yet to receive another opportunity to play at the highest level since. However, Oladipo is looking to make an NBA comeback, and he has worked out in front of NBA scouts lately. According to Ira Winderman of the Sun Sentinel, the Heat were among the teams scouting Oladipo in a scrimmage on Monday. Front and center has been a player attempting to get back in front of NBA eyes, with former Heat guard Victor Oladipo attempting a comeback with workouts in Las Vegas in front of NBA scouts, Winderman wrote. Oladipo's last NBA action came in the 2023 playoffs for the Heat, when he tore the patellar tendon in his left knee. He then was offloaded by the Heat in a 2023 offseason salary dump. Now 33, Oladipo has been very public about intentions to get back into the league, with the Heat among the teams scouting in his Monday scrimmage work. It would be fitting for Oladipo to end his hiatus from the league with the NBA team he last played with. Oladipo made the deepest playoff run of his NBA career with the Heat not long before injuries put an abrupt end to his time in Miami. He averaged 10.6 points and 1.3 steals per game in primarily a bench role in the 2022 NBA playoffs, and the Heat made it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, where they lost to the Boston Celtics in a hard-fought series. Individually, Oladipo carved out the most successful seasons of his career with the Indiana Pacers, as he averaged 20.6 points per game for his Pacers tenure, which spanned several seasons, and was a legitimate star in Indiana. However, the 33-year-old is far removed from his time with the Pacers stint, and even his Heat stint, and it's difficult to gauge how impactful Oladipo could still be considering he hasn't played in the NBA since 2023. It's unclear how enthusiastic Oladipo would be at his advanced age about joining a Heat team that is in the middle of the pack in the East. Star forward Jimmy Butler is now a member of the Golden State Warriors, and the Heat don't stick out as the legitimate title contenders they once were. Oladipo's situation as he tries to earn a spot back in the best basketball league on the planet will be worth keeping track of for the near future. Miami Heat veteran guard Terry Rozier remains under federal investigation in a gambling probe, according to a report from NBA insider Chris Haynes. The report from Haynes comes 2 weeks after ESPN's Shams Charania reported that Rozier had been cleared, as of right now, by the NBA. The investigation into potential game fixing by Rozier dates back to his time with the Charlotte Hornets in 2023, sources told Sports Illustrated's Pat Ford. The NBA was alerted to unusual betting activity in a game between the Hornets and the New Orleans Pelicans. Rozier was in the starting lineup but played just 9 minutes and 34 seconds before exiting with a foot injury. He scored 5 points and grabbed 4 rebounds. It was the last game he played that season. The Wall Street Journal reported that the gambling ring that is accused of conspiring with former NBA player Jontay Porter placed large wagers against Rozier during that contest. The investigation surrounds whether or not the gamblers were aware of inside information regarding Rozier that led to the substantial bets. Rozier is entering the final season of his contract with the Miami Heat, which will pay him $26.6 million next season. In 64 games for the Heat last season, Rozier scored 10.6 points and added 3.7 rebounds and 2.6 assists on 39.1% shooting. The Los Angeles Lakers' offseason plan has been driven by the intent to become a more cohesive unit capable of contending for the title. Although the team has taken steps in the right direction, it's evident that these efforts aren't sufficient. The Western Conference is expected to be extremely competitive next season, especially as teams improve their roster strength. In this regard, the Lakers' efforts have seen them acquire Jake LaRavia to add wing depth and DeAndre Ayton to solidify their big man rotation. The purple and gold endure added pressure to become contenders as the likelihood of LeBron James requesting a trade increases with each passing day. To improve their chances of retaining their superstar, the front office must act quickly to acquire another to solidify their lineup. In a bold trade proposal shared by Sports Illustrated's Jackson Caudell and Rohan Rahman, featuring the Miami Heat and the Atlanta Hawks, the Lakers can fulfill all their goals at the price of their key assets. Let's take a look at the trade idea. Proposed trade details. Los Angeles Lakers receive Bam Adebayo. Miami Heat receive Austin Reeves, Gabe Vincent, Dalton Connect, 2031 first-round pick. Atlanta Hawks receive Maxi Kleber. The Hawks play the role of facilitators in this trade, taking on the cap hit of Maxi Kleber's contract to give the Lakers and the Heat more leeway with navigating their salary cap structure. In this scenario, the acquisition of Bam Adebayo transforms the Lakers' starting rotation. Meanwhile, with Austin Reeves, Miami's backcourt becomes significantly more formidable. With this in mind, we explore the deeper impact of the trade on the teams involved. The Lakers form a Big Four. Bam Adebayo's arrival would usher in a new era for the Los Angeles Lakers. With the gifted two-way big man joining the team, the Lakers effectively form a Big Four with Luka Doncic, LeBron James, Bam Adebayo, and DeAndre Ayton. The frontcourt pairing of James, Adebayo, and Ayton has a lot of merit. Despite being slightly undersized for a traditional center, Adebayo remains a dominant defensive presence. Owing to his length, athletic ability, and strength, the 3X All-Star is capable of anchoring the team's defense while also being a key player on the offensive end. Last season, he recorded noteworthy averages of 18.1 points and 9.6 rebounds while shooting 48.5% from the field and 35.7% from three-point range. His ability to stretch the floor and operate from the mid-range made him a viable offensive threat. When paired with Ayton, the two big men would make for a formidable rebounding duo. Meanwhile, his athleticism would also make him a capable lob threat alongside Doncic, who is known to reward his centers. Adebayo's addition also gives a lot of flexibility to the team with regard to how they play James. At 40 years old, the Lakers would do well to limit the minutes played by their superstar to conserve him for the postseason. With the 27-year-old already shouldering a bigger role on defense, the Lakers could also look at James being given more time to rest during games. Adebayo also signed a 3-year, $160,838,784 deal, which will come into effect in the summer of 2026. Considering that James will be a free agent by then, the Lakers would benefit from trading for him now, as he becomes a part of the team's long-term plans involving Doncic. The Heat acquire young talent. This trade scenario sees the Miami Heat acquire a plethora of talented young players from the Lakers, as well as draft capital. With Austin Reaves becoming the most valuable asset in the package, the Heat would benefit from his arrival the most. Austin Reaves' addition would have a massive implication for Miami's current starting rotation. Considering that the franchise completed a trade to acquire Norman Powell from the Clippers, the addition of Reaves would effectively let them start with a three-guard lineup. Reaves' offensive upside has been acknowledged by several teams around the league. Considering his averages of 20.2 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 5.8 assists per game, the 27-year-old is capable of creating shots for himself as well as for his teammates. Reaves' arrival could complicate Miami's plans for Tyler Herro, given their similar roles and skill sets. But with the two guards running the Heat backcourt, Miami could be a troublesome team for opposing defenses. In addition to Reaves, the Heat would also acquire Gabe Vincent and Dalton Knecht. While Vincent primarily adds defensive support and experience to the backcourt rotation, Knecht brings a lot of value as a scorer. With Duncan Robinson headed to the Detroit Pistons in the offseason, the Heat require perimeter shooters to boost their bench depth. Last season, the 24-year-old recorded an average of 9.1 points while shooting 37.6% from beyond the arc heading into his sophomore season. The Heat could expect better productivity from the young guard. While the draft capital is undoubtedly valuable, Miami would gain additional cap flexibility next summer as Vincent is on an expiring contract and Reaves has a player option. While Reaves may demand a max extension after opting out of his contract, the Heat will have some latitude in deciding on this matter. Who benefits from this trade? This trade scenario is certainly a massive one, considering the number of moving parts and assets changing hands. But in the overall scheme of things, this trade may not be beneficial for the major players involved. The Lakers stand to lose the least in this scenario. The addition of Bam Adebayo would indeed transform the purple and gold into a super team. But this comes at the cost of their bench strength and their future. In a league moving away from the Big Three era, a move like this would be counterintuitive. While James' ultimatum certainly puts the purple and gold on a win-now timeline, the Lakers may not benefit from this gamble in the long run. The Heat stand to lose the most in this scenario. While expiring contracts would allow them to make moves in the future, they would be in an extremely weakened position without their defensive anchor next season. Kel'el Ware shows promise, but expecting him to take over from Adebayo at this stage would be overestimating his abilities. In addition to this, the overlap between Reaves and Herro could lead to more conflict in the backcourt than good, potentially leading to a greater drop-off in productivity. The Hawks may be the only team that benefits from this deal, as a healthy Maxi Kleber is still capable of contributing to a winning team. When also considering that he's on an expiring contract, Atlanta would enjoy cap flexibility for next year.